This a Batman tune. I promise you. This shit lit, cuz. This shit lit. Alright? Run that joint.
Niggas looking for the light. Me and my niggas prepared for the dog. Yeah. So we gon' get it on for the last days, nigga. I already know what it is. 140 for the rebel.
They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. It's a problem, tell them pop on. I die for I let my colors fly, boy. For a nigga take me, they a drop dead. AR, clean them up like a mop pig. J. Cool, he bad, he really so tough. They like, damn, look what he did, it really go rough. Little bitch think she Kiki Palmer, silly hoe. She know I'm that bull, but I ain't from Philly though. From the city where they say about that ribbon like petty poops. Know them niggas plotting, gotta deal with me. Can't catch me slipping, got to steal with me. Just left Alabama, bought a chopper from some hillbill move. He made my life feel the blade. Leave them all bruised, come through like a plague. Rebel off the leash like a dog out the cage. Call me Johnny Blaze, I'm Run West May. Watch your step get stretched like a limousine. So my brother bring that blade back wet, that's my enemy. Little nigga, this that cold, need to talk. Niggas know I got blood in my cup, I just sip it like it's grenadine. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the build, we in the spot. We can go to war, let's see who make it out. Tell them niggas good night, here come the best. Look, told them niggas get right or get left. UPK, bad man, I pin to your flesh. Hellboy, rip the soul out of dead man shit. Got the rate, the power, I been a showstopper. Yeah, they might hate, but I know they gon' watch. Zone on lock, and you know the flow prop. Iced out, got the drip out of David Jones lock. Know I got the plan, they say that you the man. No shit, Sherlock, I'm the one you heard about. Burn down the building, let them all watch. Throw that one west up, then I swerve out. Sick with this shit, I do not need a detox. He don't watch a step, blow him out them Reeboks. We taking over, I'm sending the word out. Can't see me, little nigga, I put you in a bird box. Look, it's One West practical, gladiator, maximal. Creep on them slow, but that Glock fire rapido. All I want is more power, more straps to blow. Ain't got excuse for no car, he gon' have to go. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go to war and see who make it out. Earn your stripes, dog, you with us or not. We can get it on when it's on, it don't never stop. First you get that power, gotta hold it down. Watch your step, boy, you on holy ground. They in the building, we in the spot. We can go backstage.
Yeah, nigga. Fake ass nigga.
You ain't no Israelite, but you a gospelite, bitch.
Fuck you talking about?
If that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, but he'll fade you line up. Young nigga named the Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, a hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK too solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All the niggas wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out this bitch walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Should've took the time, get a damn no. But I see the starter and I show her. She could never get a priest hoe. You a dirt ass, rust ass neck bitch with that fake ass jewelry. In Tennessee while I'm touring. It's a Tennessee, but she luring. Yeah, that sucker duck bitch ass boy, fuck nigga over that bitch muggin'. I say, if that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, but he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK too solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, a hood. More than you, bitch. You a lame nigga down to me. Eat candy, but I'm sucker free. You a little nigga, ain't nothing to me.
I'll bust your ass in a temple. We debating by the temple. Tell the truth, boy, you's a victim. And you'll squirm off like a lizard. Nigga walk down my road. Why does nigga come down my road? Boy, come down my road. Boy, I charge your ass toll fee. I'm a real big priest, nigga. UBK play for keys, nigga. Commanding general get a damn order, but ain't nothing to me to damn kill you. I was talking his ass like a cat. All weapons, boys full of tech. Boy, like a close combat. Nigga got popped off for a neck. If that nigga won't walk, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, boy, he'll fade you line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. South Coast shit, we bought it. UPK, shoot solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood. Hood. More than you, bitch.
Christ said 7 women gonna be on one nigga in the end time. Nigga, fuck wrong with you, boy. Stressed by that damn hoe ass bitch. Fake ass nigga too. Dumb ass motherfucker. Fuck you. Okay. Homie, I've been.
There's a king that's coming back to save our people. Now, we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation.
So when we are in this kingdom and our brother and sister is doing wickedly in this kingdom, we must tell them, look, the world is expecting you to stay docile, to stay stupid.
That's what Christianity teaches our people. Teaches our people to hate one another and love the oppressor. Like, we'll never forgive one another for anything that another brother or sister do to us, but we'll forgive the oppressor in a heartbeat. There's something wrong with that, man.
Imagine living your life as a whole Christian your whole life, and life's good because you're a Christian and Jesus is white and everything's going great, and there's a landslide and the earth opens up and you go downstairs and you walk through this place and you see a black Jesus, man. Why is Jesus Christ black with an afro in the catacombs, man? This predates the Renaissance period.
So when you read the book of Genesis, the trees in the garden with other nations, a leaf, what does a leaf do to a tree? Cover the tree. So Adam took the covering of another nation. What's the covering of another nation? Their culture. So when the Most High saw him and said, yo, Adam, where are you, man? Why are you? Don't mean I can't find you. He was like, who is this nigga? Like, where are you, man? I don't know you.
Okay. So the Ba al Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath al-Ham wa Aidya Yahaw. The Ba means speak. Al, when it's joined with something, so al Banya means what? Unto, right? Excellent. So al when it's joined with something means unto. Banya means children. Yasha'ala is Israel. So unto the children of Israel.
Like if it's one thing a hoe gonna do, a hoe gonna hold. But you ain't, she can't hold if there's nobody to hold with. And the thing she said at the end, where she said, I went back and I lied to him and he still wouldn't do it. And then she threw up her hands and she said, well, he'll just be a brother. That's what he fucking need.
That's
brothers.
Right.
If we have more brothers, hoes like her wouldn't have no outlet.
There was a man in the land of Oz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
There you go, the man called Job. I think Job is what, like, afflicted. And that man was perfect and upright, meaning what? You can be perfect, man. Job was a man like everybody else, man. Job wasn't no angel, he didn't come from the heavens. And that man was perfect, meaning what? You can be perfect in the Bible. Being perfect is in the Bible.
Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain above 50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow.
Sisters, we are the ISUPK, started out 125th Street, 1 West Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. That would be God's chosen. It's not the Israelis.
That's right.
It's not the Jewish man. It's not Amalek who have taken claim and stake to our land, our identity. It is the millions of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians today, as we know them and see them, that went through the transatlantic slave trade and were already in the new transatlantic world called the Americas, that are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. We're going to run through a few announcements, what we've got going on in the school on a weekly basis. Then we're going to jump straight into tonight's class. Okay, so Monday night, which is tonight, we've got the law class. Tuesday is the brotherhood class. Wednesday is the history class. Thursday, the scripture breakdown. Scripture breakdown class. Friday, we have the Lashawan Kodash class. These classes all commence at 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. The live classes are streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter 5 nights a week. You'll have 3 live classes from the school. That's 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham, UK. That is Monday night law class, Wednesday night history class, and the Thursday night scripture breakdown class. Those 3 classes are live in the school. So the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, our people, you're welcome to come down and attend the classes. You got any questions, you hold your hand up in class and we'll get straight to you. Otherwise, if you've got any questions online, punch them into the chat in the StreamYard, in the stream, and we'll get to your questions ASAP, as quick as we can. Okay, so tonight is the law class, and the topic tonight is finding a husband in Israel part 2. About 3 weeks ago, we did a class. I did a class called the topic was finding a wife in Israel part 1. So we're just going to tie some loose ends up, and this class is for the sisters who want to learn and are willing to learn and are thinking about affiliating themselves with the ISUPK under Commanding General Yahanna, and also for the sisters that seek a husband. Okay, so this really is only for the Dolo sisters. You understand? The sisters that are not married or are in a marital status already. And that is why, the reason for that is, as you're going to see in the Bible, polygamy is against the law for our sisters. Okay, so sisters are not allowed 2 husbands. You're not allowed to divorce your husband and marry the pastor in your church. You're not allowed to run away from your husband. Even if things are not right, you seek counsel and you get things right.
That's right.
Okay, this is your husband we're talking about. But we're going to find out tonight what type of man you should be looking for when you're seeking a husband. But just before we jump into tonight's topic, there's just a quick issue. Well, it's going to take about 15-20 minutes. I've got a couple of precepts. I've got a brother at work who's deep into the Christian church. Been trying to pull him out of this nonsense for a while, and every day he comes with his Christian nonsense, but none of it is Bible related or scripturally related. So just before we go into tonight's class, I just want to address a few points that have been brought to my attention from this brother. Okay, and them points would be what he's touched on, and he's touched on it for the last 5 or 6 weeks. He's touched on it again today, and I have family members that these points will address and help sincerely. I hope so. But you've got to remember, when you're learning this Bible, you've got to be in meekness. You've got to be humble with it. You can't think you know this Bible and you've not learned the Bible or been taught this Bible. We have been taught this Bible in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yahanna, and we teach this as it was taught from 1969. Okay, The spirit of the Most High God is within the men in the ISUPK,
That's
the
right.
Commanding General Yohana, and you're not going to find that spirit in any of the other fake organization, the
That's
fake
right.
Israelite groups. So this is the home of the truth, the One West doctrine, and this is the only place you're going to get it, in the ISUPK. Okay, so just what the Christian and the so-called family members of mine keep bringing up is I give them the civil laws, the ceremonial laws, the dietary laws, and the law is broken down into 4 categories. I'll remember the 4th one in a minute. But we've got dietary, civil,
moral,
ceremonial, and moral laws. Throw out the other one. They're the 4 categories that the law breaks down into. There's 613 laws. There's 10 commandments that were recorded that the prophet Moses brought down from Mount Sinai. He wrote them, but he had another 603 in his head that he taught us. We were taught. And you've got to remember one thing. If you're a true brother or a true sister, then you will keep this law, because every one of these 613 laws apply to brotherhood and sisterhood. Without brotherhood and sisterhood, you cannot possibly be teaching these laws. And this is what Christ came back to teach us, because we wasn't taught this in time aforetime, but when Christ came along, this is what he taught. He taught us that without brotherhood, there's no possible chance we could keep these laws. No possible chance we could keep the ceremonial laws, the civil laws, the moral laws, and the dietary laws. Okay, and you might say to yourself, well, how do all them 4 categories tie into brotherhood? It's quite simple, because without brotherhood, you might let your brother break the dietary law.
That's right.
Without brotherhood, you might not show your sons and your daughters how to be civil to them one another. Without brotherhood and sisterhood, you might commit adultery and not give a damn about your brother, and break the moral laws. Okay, and what is the other one? Ceremonial. You got one for us? Other one for ceremonial?
Ceremonial, like the feast days, holidays, stuff like that. Without brotherhood, you want to invite your brother to come here, man. You make him celebrate Christmas and not invite him to here.
Can't. Ceremonial is probably the biggest example of brotherhood, because if you come down to 39 Lodge Road when we're keeping a feast day, whether it be the Passover, first fruits, Day of Atonement, the Memorial of Blowing Trumpets, the Feast of Tabernacles, whichever Memorial Day it is, you will see us all gathered together. It's a holy convocation, and you will see true brotherhood and sisterhood in the absolute. And you'll see it right here in the school at 394 Lodge Road. You cannot get that brotherhood and sisterhood in the Christian church. And we're going to put this Christianity nonsense to bed once and for all. Because after tonight, I don't want a single member of my family, none of my people, I don't want them questioning these scriptures, these precepts anymore. Okay? Because like the Bible says, we can't keep going round and round in circles. You give this truth to a brother, sister, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians 3 to 4 times. If they're hardened, they can't hearken, they don't want to listen, they're disagreeable, you have to let them go. You have to let them go and let them face their judgment when our King returns.
That's right.
Because that's what they're looking at, and that is the inevitability of the situation. They are going to face their judgment like we all are. Okay, but those of you and the priests and prophets and the warriors of the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana that are keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, I guarantee you, your judgment is going to be a lot different to the Gentiles, to the brothers and sisters that stay up in that Christian church, stay in Islam, in the mosque, have chosen Rastafarianism over the truth. Their judgment's going to be a lot different to yours. Okay, so let's have a look at the first precept. If you can plug this for me, Adawan Baba Kashar. Let's go to Let's start with because this I'm going to show the Christians. Yeah, let's go to Deuteronomy 7 and 9. I'm going to show the Christians that the thing that they're missing is our records in its entirety. Too many times I hear these Christians saying that, well, the Old Testament's called the Old Testament for a reason. It's self-explanatory. It's old. It's finished. It's done away with. Now we're in the new era, the new covenant, which we are. We are in a new covenant, but we're not. The New Testament is no different to the Old Testament. The Old Testament is no different to the New Testament, as we're going to see right now. And I dare any one of you Christians to question these precepts that we're bringing out, because if you question these precepts, who do you think you're questioning? You're questioning the very entity that you say you believe in.
That's right.
And love and cherish and honor and glorify. And you're damn liars because you don't do none of them things up in that church. So Deuteronomy, we're going to prove to you once and for all that these laws are not done away with. And you say, well, they're only recorded in the old. No, they are not. They're recorded in all 80 books. We're not even going to go to the Apocrypha because you've got too many ridiculous arguments about the 14 missing books. But what we will do is bring this out in the New Testament so that we can clap you down and shut your mouths once and for all. Deuteronomy 7 and 9, Baba Kashar.
Deuteronomy 7 and 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant.
Keepeth what?
Covenant.
Keepeth what?
Covenant.
What is a covenant? A covenant is an agreement.
That's right.
A contractual agreement in this wicked world. In the Bible, it's called a covenant. Read that for me again, Baba Kashar Adwan.
Know ye therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments.
And do what?
Keep his commandments.
And do what?
Keep his commandments.
Read on.
To 1,000 generations.
Okay. So let's break this down. Okay? Because you Christians don't believe this. You don't believe in the records of Moses.
That's right.
This is one of Moses's books. This is the records of Moses, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9. And Moses recorded, because he was told to record by the Most High God, that if you love God, you'll keep his commandments.
That's right.
Okay? God is faithful to those that love him. And those that love the Most High God keep his commandments. It's right here in Deuteronomy 7 and 9. And if you don't keep his commandments, you do not love God. And I can hear all you Christians out there right now saying, okay, but we've done told you this is Old Testament. This is Old Testament. What the hell has this got to do with Christianity? Because Christianity doesn't subscribe to the records of Moses. We only subscribe to the records of Jesus Christ. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's have a look. Let's I've got this has not got red writing in it, this Bible. Go to plug Revelation 22 and 14 for me, other one. Baba Kashar.
1 second. Are we recording anything or what or anything? All right, no, sir. Any questions behind the break?
Shalom, man. Lord of Christ. You Tawab? You good? Okay, Revelation 22 and 14. This is New Testament. So I don't want to hear any nonsense from you Christians. You've told me, and you've told the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, and you've been talking this for 400 years.
Yeah, probably more, you know.
500 years more. Yeah, you've been talking this nonsense that the laws of Moses are done. The Old Testament is no longer set in place. Then if the Old Testament is no longer set in place, why is it one book? And why is it in the end? We teach that all 80 scrolls, all 80 books are in their entirety. There's no separation. You can't differentiate between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And we're going to prove it right now. We just for the brother that walked in, can we just get Deuteronomy 7 and 9 again? Do you want me to read it while I'm there?
Okay. 7 and 9, yeah?
If you've got any questions, brother, if you've got any questions in class.
My hand up if that's cool.
Yeah, no, sir.
Deuteronomy 7 and 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
And 1,000 generations is not 1,000 years.
That's right.
A generation is like 20 years. So this is not literal. This is metaphorical. When we see 1,000 generations in the Bible, it's forever. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. So then, where do you Christians get off saying the Old Testament is done? Type into the StreamYard, give us one precept, one scripture, one Bible verse that says these laws, statutes, and commandments that Moses gave us from the Lord thy God, through the Lord, through the Most High God, they are finished. They are done with. If you can show us one scripture. Let's bring out Revelation 22 and 14.
Revelations 22 and 14.
Remember, this is in the New. You say that the laws that are recorded in the Old Testament are done. They're finished. Is this red writing, other one? It's not red writing.
It's not, no, it's not the New Testament.
It's New Testament. And the Christians say that they believe in the New Testament. So why don't you believe in this? Read that Baba Kashada one.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Read that again.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Ooh, that's a scorcher.
That's right.
Good night. That's a done deal. That don't sound too healthy for you Christians up in that church when you're debating and trying to solidify your argument. This is watering down your argument. Read that again for us, Baba Kashada one.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
That what?
Do his commandments.
Read on.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
Read.
And may enter into the gates, into the city.
Gates. You Christians say there's one pearly gate that all 18 nations are going to walk through. Read that last line again, Baba Kashada one.
That they may enter, Slakia, through the gates into the city.
Gates, plural. There's 12 tribes of Israel and there's 12 gates to heaven. This is New Testament. Blessed are they that do the commandments. Can anybody tell me what a blessing is? A blessing is a gift.
That's right.
Salah.
I was going to say almost like a reward.
A reward, a gift. A blessing is a reward. Thank you, brother. The brother in the class said a blessing is a reward. And that's exactly what a blessing is. A blessing is a reward or a gift. But it's not any kind of reward. It's a reward from the eldest of days, the highest of the high, the Most High God, the one true God of Israel. That's where your blessing comes from, not from the God of the mosque, the God of the Christian church. They don't exist. They're not there. They're fabrications. They're spooks in the sky, watching over nothing because they're not there. They don't exist. But the one true God, the God of the Bible, the God of our records, Yahweh in the Hebrew, the one true God of Israel, he is where we get our blessings from. You understand? And this is New Testament. So how I want you Christians to come back. And the brother that I work with, who I know he's not going to get involved, other one, he's not going to get involved because he's not that brash and he's not that brave. But so he's not going to type in the stream. But I know through the Spirit that he's watching or watching or listening. I've got a funny feeling he is. He knows he should be anyway. And maybe a couple of my family members that attend that Christian church, okay, and love that pastor that's led them astray and taught them one bag of nonsense for the longest. Yeah. And if you are listening in, let me know. This is recorded in the New Testament, in the book of Revelation. You Christians say you believe in the New Testament. So why don't you believe in this then?
That's right.
Read that for me one more time, Baba Kashan.
Come on, Revelations 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Okay, so blessed are thee that keep the commandments. The commandments are the laws of the Most High God. The same laws that Moses recorded in Genesis, in Exodus, in Leviticus, in Numbers, in Deuteronomy. The same laws that you Christians said are finished, are done, don't exist anymore. But here in the New Testament, what you Christians say is your book, which is a nonsense. Show me Christianity and show me your belief system in the New Testament. It's not in there. But what is in there is John the Revelator recording that blessed is he that keeps these laws. Okay? If you don't keep them, you're finished. Good night. Right. It's over.
That's right.
Forget that. And the reason we teach this truth is for our people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because one thing that we teach that you Christians have forgot about is that the Most High God doesn't change. He doesn't change. So why do you think he gave these laws, his laws that make us perfect? Why would he give these laws to Moses to give us, to spread amongst us, and then decide all of a sudden to send his only begotten son and do away with the same laws? But for the duration of his son's life in this wicked kingdom, he was the only man in that era that kept these laws and kept them in the absolute, all 316, because that's what Christ did. Christ kept all these laws when we couldn't. The rest of us fell short, but Christ never. So what you're learning up in that Christian church, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there's no records of what you're learning. There's no proof of what you're learning, and there's no records of what you're learning. So where the hell does it come from? Malachi 3 and 6. We're going to prove to you that the Most High God don't change. And guess what? We're going to prove to you that the person that you say is God, Jesus the Christ, who is not, he is the Son of God, according to our records, we're going to show you that the Most High doesn't change, and neither does his Son. And this is something that has slipped through the net in that Christian church. And it's not just slipped through the net. It's a conspiracy against our people to keep us down, to keep us in this lie, this nonsensical lie of Christianity, which is a slave doctrine. Malachi 3 and 6.
Malachi 3 and 6. For I am the Lord. I change not.
I do what?
I change not.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to do away with these laws.
I change not.
I'm going to send back my only begotten son so you can eat bacon sandwiches and break the dietary law.
I change not.
Read.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
If you break the law, you're going to be consumed. Who are you going to be consumed by? Satan. Yes, the Lord, because he's going to unleash Satan on you.
That's right.
And if you're breaking these laws, Satan's already done his job on you. And that's what's going on in the Christian church. You Christians, listen good. Because this applies to you. Read that again, Baba Kishar, one more time, otherwise.
Malachi 3:6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
The Most High God doesn't change. It's right here in Malachi 3:6. Why would he give Moses these laws to give to us, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, only to change his mind and do away with them like what's taught up in that Christian church? It makes no goddamn sense, and there's no records of that, of what the Christian pastor teaches. The law's done. It's finished. Show me where it's finished.
That's right.
According to Malachi, the prophet Malachi, his records read, God, the Most High God changes not. The Most High God don't change his mind. What the Most High God said is good in the beginning, is good in the middle, right, and is good in the end.
That's right.
That doesn't change. And you say, well, you teach that Jesus is God, the unholy Trinity. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see what Christ says about these laws. Let's get Hebrews 13:8. Let's see what Christ says about these laws, because we know that the Most High God doesn't change. So does Christ change? Christ is the greatest follower of our Father there's ever been amongst us mortal men.
That's right.
Christ was the greatest follower. He led by example. Now let's get Hebrews 13:8. Now let's see what Christ has got to say about this.
Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever.
Good night, you Christian demons. Read that again for me, Baba Kishar, the one.
Hebrews 13:8.
And just before you read that, once again, we've gone from the Old Testament to the New Testament. This is New Testament. Hebrews, the last time I checked, the book of Hebrews is in the New Testament, is it not?
That's right.
Then why do you Christians teach something that is in the book that you say you believe in, but there's no records of what you're teaching? But this is in the records. Hebrews 13:8. Read that, Baba Kishar, other one.
Jesus Christ, the same yesterday and today and forever.
Jesus Christ is just like his Father.
That's right.
He doesn't change his mind. He doesn't do a U-turn. He doesn't get to the island and think, I don't want to go anymore. I'm turning back. He does. That's what you lot do in that Christian church. You change your mind like the wind changes directions. So lucky you got something on the
Christian church are known for changing their mind. Like once upon a time, they wouldn't allow same-sex marriage. Now they do. Once upon a time, a woman couldn't teach. Now she can. You know what I mean? So, that's just like them to be chopping and changing it.
And that's a heavy point, because homosexuality for 2,000 years, nearly 2,000, was outlawed. And all of a sudden, the Christian church makes it legal. And it's pushed in the schools amongst our children now. They're infants amongst us. And this is disgusting and filthy to the Most High God. And that it's just a great example of how much folly is up in that Christian church, because they're not only teaching things that are not in the Bible, they're teaching things that are against the Bible.
That's right.
That's what they're doing, because there's a law in the book of Leviticus that two men shall not lie together as a man and a woman. So where do these Christian pastors get off teaching same-sex marriage is okay? Two women can bring up a young boy. Two men can raise a young sister by themselves. Who is the husband and who is the wife? Confusion. And that's all the Christian church does. It just brings about confusion time and time again. Read that.
Question online as well. So like, when you ready, question online.
Can't.
So this one line says, "It's lucky, sir. How do you combat Christians who say Proverbs 18:22? The scripture says, if a man finds a wife not wise.
Proverbs
18 and 22.
Proverbs 18 and 22. Okay, yeah. Read that from Baba Kashada one.
Proverbs.
What's the sister's name?
There's Shara on this.
Sha'ara. Okay, sister, let's get to your question.
Proverbs 18 and 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
Okay, and read the question out from the Baba Kashada one.
How do you combat Christians who say Proverbs 18:22, Slovakia, that they say the scripture says a man finds a wife?
Okay, so how we combat this is read the precept again for me, other one, Baba Kashar, and we'll break it down.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtain a favor of the Lord.
Okay, so if you find who wrote the book of Proverbs? King Solomon.
That's right.
King Solomon, King David's son. These are his records, the book of Proverbs. And how many wives did King Solomon have?
Over 1,000.
King Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. That's 1,000 women. So if these are King Solomon's records, sister, obviously there's no law in our records saying that a man has to have 2 wives, has to have 3 wives, has to have 4 wives. But polygamy for the man in the Bible is not unlawful.
That's right.
Okay, so it's lawful polygamy for a man. It's only unlawful for a woman polygamy. Polygamy for a man in the Bible is lawful. And we can prove that with 10 different precepts. But to shut down the pastor, sister, going back to your question, you're saying this is singular and not plural. That's the point you're trying to make. Well, guess what? When a man is going to marry a woman, you court a woman for 6 months, a year, however long. You pay your dowry to the father of your potential wife. Then you take her into the tent. You take her into the room. You take her somewhere secluded where it's just you and her. And you have sex and make that marriage and you bond in that moment. You're not sleeping with 2 women.
That's right.
It's not plural because you can only marry 1 woman in that moment.
That's right.
And that's what King Solomon, Salakia, is talking about, sister. And that's how you combat your pastor.
Right.
This isn't talking about you can only marry 1 woman. Or why does it say another 10 times in our records that polygamy is lawful for the man? Doesn't make no sense. This is another Christian lie. There's nothing in this precept. Baba Kashar, read it again for me, Baba Kashar, the one.
Proverbs 18 and 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing.
Okay, so Monday you find a wife, Friday you go and find another wife.
That's right.
Does that mean on the Monday and Friday you had sex with them both together so they became wives in the same moment, in the same room? That's how you combat it, sister. This is not talking about monogamy. This is not proof that the Bible teaches monogamy and monogamy is lawful for the man. That's not what this says. This says you can only create 1 wife at one time, at any given time. And if you take 2 girls, if you take 2 potentials into the tent, it's a sin. At the same time, that's a sin. That's how you combat it, sister. I hope you give us a card, other one card, if you're okay with the answer, sister.
Most High Christ.
I am the boss, sister. Most High Christ. Okay, so I think we've dealt with these Christians. We beat them up and battered them enough. Okay, let's close the book on these Christians because they can't. There's nothing that any of my people have typed in, or the brother from work that is just annoying me every day with his nonsense about his Christianity, Christy insanity. So let's jump straight into tonight's class. Finding a Husband, Part 2. This is not going to be in as depth as the Part 1, obviously for time's sakes, but to all you sisters out there that are not in the ISUPK and are seeking a man, okay, seeking a husband, what type of man should you be looking for? What type of man do you think that you should be looking for to marry, to have children with, to make a life with, to start from your foundations and build a world together? What type of man should a sister be looking for? It's a woman's right to love a married man, for example. It's a woman's right to love a married man. Why? Because we just touched on it. A man can legally embrace polygamy according to our records. So it's a woman's right, therefore, to see a man who's married and still make a play for him. That's not unlawful. What's unlawful is for a brother to make a play for a sister who's already married. That's adultery. Okay? So sisters, you shouldn't be deterred if you come into the ISUPK and see a married man that you think, wow, that guy's righteous as hell. He righteous as heaven, so to speak. That's the best man I've ever spoke to in my life. That's the best man I've ever met. But you've come to the ISUPK under Commanding General Johanna and met this man, and this man's in the truth, so he's going to be righteous. But guess what? You're stuttering and faltering because he's got a wife already. That shouldn't deter you. It's your right. It's your right to love or fall in love with a married man. You got something for us.
The one that you're bringing out that it's wrong. It's wrong in reverse. It's in Leviticus 20 and 10.
Salakia, just what do you mean wrong in reverse?
Like a woman can be with a married man, but a man can't be with a married woman.
Yeah, but that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Can't.
Leviticus 20 and 10. The man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death.
Okay, and that is the punishment. That is the judgment for adultery. So you men that are eyeing up, and you're not going to find one of our brothers in the UPK looking at married women. They are off limits. But the punishment for going for a sister that's already married to a brother is death. Okay? And if the sister entertains it, her judgment is the same, death. Okay, so, but regarding the woman, the sister, it's your entitlement to fall in love with a married man. Because guess what? That man can marry you if that love is reciprocated. If he likes you as much as you like him, you will go through protocol, you'll go through the process of talking, courting, dating, then you'll go to the head of your school to get permission to marry.
That's right.
And we get our protocol from our records. So this is all lawful, how we behave amongst the sisters. Okay? For every brother, polygamy is not for every brother. Okay? Some brothers are happy having one wife, like me. But some brothers are not happy having one wife. And it's lawful to have more than one woman, according to our records. Okay? So if it's a woman's right to be with a married man, then what type of man shouldn't you be looking for? And what type of man should you be looking for? Can we get Colossians? Colossians 3:19. And let's not forget, The type of man you should be looking for, sisters, is a righteous man. Yeah, a man of honor. He should be earnest, honest. He should be a keeper of the law. You shouldn't be, don't be coming to the UPK looking for a husband, expecting to meet a man that's gonna encourage you to break the dietary law or encourage you to break the moral laws. You're not gonna find that here. Because you should be seeking a righteous man, and a righteous man is keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. Colossians. Oh, Salakia, just give me 1 second. No, okay, so. Yeah, it's Colossians chapter 9. No, chapter 3, Salakia.
3:19 sounds about right.
Yeah, chapter 3, verse 19, other one.
Colossians 3:19. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing to the Lord.
Hold on. Colossians. I've lost it. Salakia, read that again, Baba Kasha.
Colossians 3, verse 19. Husbands, 18.
Can't.
Colossians 3, verse 18. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands, as it is fit in the Lord.
Submit yourselves to your own husbands. This is a virtuous woman. So if you're virtuous, you're already in the ISUPK. You're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But what about the women that are not in the UPK and are seeking a husband? Read verse 19, Baba Kashadawa.
Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them.
Okay, so this is the type of man you should be seeking. A man that is never bitter against you, never grudgeful. Okay? He's honest and truthful and earnest. This is the type of man that you should be seeking. A brother who will love you, and that means forever. Not decide that one day in the near future or the long future, he's had enough of you and he wants to put you away. And that's the type of man you're gonna find in the Christian church. That's the type of man you're gonna find in this wicked ass world. You're not gonna find brothers like that in the ISUPK, because guess what? We don't put our sisters away. We love them until we're horizontal. And if we're not horizontal, we're gonna love our sisters, we're gonna love our wives until our king returns. And beyond that, there is nothing. And guess why? Because the law says so. Our records say so. This is what our records teach us. This is what the law teaches. You cannot put your wife away.
That's right.
We don't believe in divorce in Israel. An Israelite brother does not believe in divorce. An Israelite sister does not believe in divorce. Once you're married, it's a done deal.
That's right.
And that's why we have this protocol to choose your wife carefully. Not just meet a girl in the club on a Friday night and marry her Saturday morning when you're drunk and out of your goddamn mind. You understand? Read that again, Baba Kashada one.
Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them.
There you go. It's a done deal. You got to love your wife forever. This is the type of man you should be looking for. Not a weekend fling. Not a man that's into a weekend fling. Not a man that wants a holiday romance. Not a man who's just a horny demon and wants to get his bits away. You understand? That's not the type of man you should be looking for. You should be looking for a righteous man.
That's
and
right.
Where do you find that righteous man? In the ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana. You shouldn't be looking for a man that holds grudges. Neither should you be looking for a man who, as soon as you walk in from your GP and tell him you're pregnant, he's already packing the goddamn suitcase and packing his Adidas and night track suits, and he can't get out of there quick enough because he sees that as entrapment. He sees that child as a gas bill, an electricity bill. Is that the type of man you should be looking for, sisters? Not our sisters.
That's right.
Not our sisters. Not at all. You should be looking for a man that's going to be sincere, humble and sincere in all things that he does. And that's what our records teach. That's the type of man that a sister should be looking for. You got anything to add, anyone? No? Okay, well, let's get me Deuteronomy 7:3, because just to add to what we're touching on now, it's not just morally and through the moral laws and the civil laws that you should be sticking to look for a man. Okay, there's a nationality issue here, and we're going to read about it in the book of Deuteronomy. There's a nationality issue. When you're looking for a man, you sisters, our so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian sisters, the type of men you should be looking for is one of your men. This is the law. This is a law class, and this is lawful. That's right. This is what we tell you every week. We have these records for a reason. This book is no joke. We have these records for a reason, to keep us on the straight and narrow. And when we're on that straight and narrow, one day we're going to be keeping all these laws just like Christ did. And guess what? Your life's going to be perfect because you're living it perfectly. That's what these laws do. So you sisters that are not perfect yet and because listen, not every brother and sister, I'm not going to fool you guys. Not every brother and sister in the UPK is perfect. If we was all perfect, we wouldn't repent. There'd be no need for the feast day, the Day of Atonement. We wouldn't need to fast. We wouldn't need to repent. We wouldn't have counsel. We wouldn't say salakia to each other. At some stage, you can mess up. It's how you react and use the law to your advantage, because this is an advantage. The law is a blessing. It's a reward. And you should use it to prepare yourself for the return of our King. That's what this law is for, to make us perfect, but first and foremost, to please our Creator, the Most High God. When He's pleased, you're going to be pleased, because your life's going to be full of blessings.
That's right.
So every sister and brother is not perfect at the minute, but this is what we're striving to be in the ISUPK every day. It's a war of attrition. And one side, there's us gripping to the spirit of the Most High God, and the other side of the fence is Satan and his band of demons attacking us, deceiving us, setting traps for us. It's whether you fall for them traps. Every day is a fight. Every day is a war. Every day is a goddamn struggle. But guess what? We're blessed. We're a people of many blessings, and we should use our blessings and wake up and understand what these blessings mean and how we're supposed to use them. And that's not being stuck up in that Christian church learning nonsense from the pastor, who doesn't teach anything out of our records. So you sisters, when you're seeking a man, you've got to know what type of man to look for. And that's not a man from one of these 17 other heathen nations. It is not cool, and it is not righteous, and it is not virtuous to see one of our sisters walking down the street with an oppressor.
That's right.
To see one of our sisters walking down the street with with an Arab, an African, a Chinese man, an Indian man. That's not cool. That's not righteous, and that's not a virtuous woman. That's a woman that hates her own people.
That's right.
Period. That's a sister that hates her own period for whatever reason. For whatever reason, she thinks now she's doing the right thing. But I'll tell you what, yeah, I bet you that same sister on a Friday is either in the mosque keeping unholy salah, or in the church Sunday morning keeping unholy communion. One or the other. She will not be in the ISUPK because she knows the law, statutes, and commandments, and she knows she cannot seek a husband from one of these other 17 nations. Read that for us, Baba Kashar, the one.
Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art, no, which one? 3.
No, Salakia. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse. Yeah, chapter 7, verse 3. Baba Kashar.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Read that again.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Okay, so this is the records of Moses again. Moses is talking about our sisters and our brothers making marriages with them. With who? Who do you think he's talking about when he's referring to them? Let's read on.
Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons.
Thou daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, to the Canaanites, an African nation, to Africans, to Moabites, a Chinese nation, Ammon, a Japanese nation, to Esau, the oppressor, the European nations, okay, to Ishmael, the Arab nations. You will not give your daughters away to these men. So let's be conscious, sisters, and know this law, and know that when you're seeking a husband, you're not in the ISUPK. So when you're seeking a husband, you could start at home.
That's right.
You should start at home amongst your own people, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. That's where you look for a husband. That's where you seek a husband. Read that again, Baba Kashar, I don't want.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy son.
Okay. So we don't want you 17 nations. We don't want your sisters. You keep them over there.
That's right.
Yeah. Leave our goddamn sisters alone.
That's right.
They're not for you. They're not for you. There's enough so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men for our so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian sisters.
That's right.
Leave our women alone. And sisters, the issue starts with you. This issue sits in your lap. When these heathen men are trying to chat you up in the club, you tell them where the hell to get off. And when you're sitting in church holding hands with these Indians and oppressors and Arabs and in the mosque with these Arabs and you're in the church banging a tambourine and clasping hands and singing hallelujah with a foreign pancoot that's not been raised in the same area or community as you, then leave that alone, sister.
That's right.
Leave that alone, sis. Leave that the hell alone. You got something, brother? You got a question?
I woke up this morning and I was reading Genesis chapter 15. And Genesis chapter 15, verse 18 and 19. Does this apply to what you're saying in a sort of reverse way? Should I read it out or no?
15 and what? 18?
Genesis 15, 18 and 19, 20 and 21.
Can you project your voice a bit louder and read it?
In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt until the river of the Euphrates, the Kenites, the Kezanites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Raphaites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Girgashites and the Jezebites. So he's saying, I've given you this land, and then he mentioned all those names. I'm asking to myself this morning, has he given us their land? Has he given us them or their land? What has he given us? And he's saying all their names as well.
Okay, so what this is talking about, this is a precept recorded by the prophet Moses when he brought us out of the Egyptian captivity. Okay, and we've gone into a land that was promised to us, what is known as the promised land, the land of Canaan, now what we know as the land of Israel. Jacob had his name changed to Israel, the name of the land. Okay, remember, Moses didn't make it to the promised land. He died in the wilderness for a sin. Joshua picked up the reins and led us into the land of Canaan. When we got to Israel, these are the sons of Canaan, and these are African tribes. Hamite. Canaan was one of the sons of Ham. These are Hamite tribes that had already they were already living in Israel. The sons of Canaan, who was the son of Ham, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Amorites. These are all African nations. Now, read from 18 again.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of the Egypt unto the great river of the Euphrates.
Nile. Read.
The Kenites, and the Kezanites, and the Kamanites, and the Hittites.
That's not the Nile. Salakia. That's not the Nile, is it? Is that the Red
No,
Sea?
yes, Euphrates.
Euphrates, yeah. The River Euphrates.
No, it did say the river Egypt as well. The river Egypt.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
river
you're right.
Euphrates.
Yeah.
That space.
It's a Nile. Yeah. Read on.
The Kenites, the Hezanites, the Kamanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaims, the Ammonites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites.
Okay, but what's your question? Is this relating to what?
You said we were talking about earlier, other people going after our sisters, going after people of other nations.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are we not meant to go after them because the Lord has given us their land?
It's a really good question. But this is one of the problems, that when we got in the wilderness, we didn't have we had this law 5 minutes and we were already building a golden calf, a graven image, a fake god. Okay, so we were already breaking the law in the wilderness. Then when we got into our promised land, we're breaking the law again, because we're breaking the civil law, the moral law, the marital laws, which is civil or moral. Would the marital laws be? The marital laws would be moral law. So we've gone in there, and our men are taking their sisters, these African women, and our sisters would have been laying with African men. We was breaking the law. We was being disgusting, according to the Most High God. And even though it's not recorded here, there's precepts in Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy. If you want to find one for us, other one, where we was told what you're looking for is not in this precept. We was told to stay away from these African tribes, because guess what? Unlike in that Christian church, brother, where we're taught we're African through Christianity, through a slave doctrine, we're not Christian. That's Salakia. We're not African. We're not African. We're Israel. And it comes back to the same argument time and time again. Well, it's the oppressors built a new border and called this the Middle East, but really in the ancient days it's Northeast Africa, it's part of the continent. We're not talking about a geographical map when we say we're not African. We're talking about a nationality. Africa is the name of a white man, a white Roman general. named Scipio Africanus. Yeah, he named Africa Africa. The landmass that we see today as Africa is the land of Ham, the ancient land of Ham. Yeah, we're not Hamites. So this is not our people that live in this landmass. And yes, we lived right next door to them in a land called Israel. But that don't mean anything, because guess what? China is right next door to India.
That's right.
Does that make Indians Oriental people? No, it doesn't. Indians are Asiatic. And why the Chinese man is Asian, he's got another name because he's Oriental. And there's no Oriental people unless they're Chinese living and residing in India. Indian people come from the seed of Elam and they're Asian. Okay? So there's two types of Asian people. One is just straight Asian, and the other Asian people are in the Far East, and they're Oriental people. So just because Africans share the same melanation as us, does that make them us? But this is what we was taught in the Christian church. Have you got that precept? So we what you're looking for, the answer, you're going to hear in this precept now, that we should not be mixing with these Africans when we went into the land of Canaan. And for you sisters out there that think it's okay to marry an African man, listen to what the Most High God is teaching us, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Read that Baba Kashada one.
Deuteronomy 18:9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Read that again, Baba Kashar.
When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Okay, so when we come into this land that was given to us, the promised land, Israel, and we found these African tribes, the sons of Canaan, who was the son of the first African Ham, we should not follow their crude and revolting traditions, and we should not take their women. Part of marriage is a tradition amongst any nation.
That's right.
And we are not to pick up their traditions. We are not to follow their culture. It says it right here in Deuteronomy. And the Most High God has told us this. He's told us, and Moses has wrote it down. So we know this for 1,000 generations. That means forever. Not just back then, 3,500, 4,000 years ago in Moses' era, as it was scribed, as it was recorded. It's forever. The Most High God doesn't change. So what was recorded back then still counts today. You sisters cannot marry African men just because they've got melanated skin. That's they right. Are not our people. They're not one of us. They're of a different nature and they're of a different spirit to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. You got something.
I just want to ask a question. So how do we interact with them today then?
The same way you interact with the oppressor, the same way you'd interact with a Chinese man, the same way you'd interact with an Indian when you go to his restaurant. You polite,
that's right,
courteous, but you don't start chatting up his daughter, take his daughter's number. You don't entertain their traditions, their fake feast days. You don't have nothing to do with none of that. You go in, you spend your money, you leave. You trade, you eat food, you swap, you do business, you work for them, you collect your wages, you go back to your own nation, your own people, your own family, you live your life and work on pleasing the Most High God. And that is dwelling amongst your own people.
That's right.
You got something otherwise.
Also in Romans 12:18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Live peaceably with all men. You got that, brother? The Apostle Paul who scribed Romans, he says, if possible, live peacefully with all men. That means if one of these 17 heathen nations, if their men are not attacking you, there's no need for you to defend yourself. You can live peacefully amongst all men. But guess what? Peace, love, and harmony begins at home. We need to fix our nation. And that means getting our brothers off drugs. Getting our sisters marrying brothers again.
That's right.
Getting our sisters to stop whoring themselves out. Getting our young men, our young brothers in the streets, off the streets, into work. Doing things for the community. Stop bad minding and evil eyeing each other. Stabbing them one another. Shooting them one another. Taking set against each other. Planning, plotting, scheming. Hurting our one another. Bad mouthing, bad talking, bad minding our one another. Planning to rob, hurt our one another. Okay? Let's get our sisters on that righteous path. Let's get them in these doors, and let's get our sisters practicing these laws, statutes, and commandments, and let's get them with a righteous brother, a righteous man, not with these heathen nations. So, going back to Deuteronomy 7:3, you can't marry, sister. You shouldn't be seeking a man that is not an Israelite, a so-called black, Hispanic, or native Indian. And that is the law. You got something, other one?
Yeah, you're saying that, just be polite and stuff. And that's what all the other nations do. Like, all these, like, Pakistanis and Chinese, if you speak to them, they hate England. They say England, as oppressed Muslims and, the horrible stuff. But they come to England, they're polite, say hello, go to work, and they marry their own, stay to their own, but they send them money back to their country. Just like with the Romanians. Romanians ain't come here to be British. They come to build up Romania, send them money back. Hungarians, all of them. East Indian man will come to England and won't hire a black man in the shop, hire his own people, but at the same time polite, don't bother no one. And I thought that was deep. He said them, just interact, but show love to your own, because they do it. They show love to their own. Chinatown, they ain't harm nobody, but they only employ Chinese people. So letting you know they love their own people, but at the same time, hello, good morning, not harming no one. That's how we should be. So like it.
Can't. Yeah, heavy. That's a heavy point. That's a heavy point. You got something to add, brother?
No.
Okay, get me Ecclesiastes. Other one, Baba Kashar. Ecclesiastes 4 and 9.
Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9.
Salakia. And just remember, sisters, we don't want to hear you moaning about there's no good brothers left. That's a classic. We hear it all the time. There's no good brothers left in the community. There's only drug dealers. There's only pimps, robbers, and murderers. Get yourself down to 394 Lodge Road.
That's right.
There's plenty of good brothers in the school. There's plenty of good. You will find yourself a righteous man, a righteous brother in the school. This is where you'll find the man of your dreams. This is where you'll find the man that you can set up house and home with. This is where you'll find a good man with good intentions towards you, with no bad feelings, ill intentions, or grudges against you. And it's not all a bed of roses, but you will have arguments, you will fall out, even with a brother in here, God forbid. Maybe. But if you did, that's easily fixed. We go to council.
That's right.
We do not divorce our women. But in that world you're in, that wicked world you're in that Christian church you're in, sisters are divorcing their men left, right, and middle. Every goddamn week there's a divorce in the Christian church. And guess what? That's against the law.
That's right.
And your pastor's not putting his foot down. He's not stopping that. He's not encouraging that. He's not counseling you. He's probably running off into the sunset with the divorcee, with the divorced woman. Where we at? Baba Kashar.
Ecclesiastes 4, was it?
Ecclesiastes.
What is 4, I believe?
4:9, I believe.
Okay, yeah, it's Ecclesiastes 4 and 9, Baba Kashar.
Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. 2 are better than 1 because they have because they have a good reward for their labor.
There you go, a blessing for their labor. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor.
You think your life will be easier without a husband? Who's going to protect you?
That's right.
Who's going to protect you from robbers, rapists, murderers, bad-minded heathen men, bad-minded brothers? Who's going to be your protector? Read that again, Baba Kashar, the one.
2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor.
If my car breaks down in the middle of the estate and I've got my wife with me or a friend, but for this example, we'll use your wife. And you've got to jump start your car. You can't jump start it on your own. You're the man. You can push that and put your wife in the driver's seat and put it in second gear and let the foot off the clutch and start your car. And when she starts it, she can put it on brake and you jump in. Point blank and period. 2 are better than 1. You know, if you're raising a family, if you've got 3 sons and 3 daughters, do you want to raise your children by yourself? Or do you want a virtuous woman by your side? Do you want a righteous man by your side raising your children? 2 are better than 1. Read verse 10, Baba Kashar.
For if they fall, the one will pick up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Together a man and a woman can make it work. If we go back to the book of Genesis, God gave the woman to the man as a meet helper. Okay, why? Because he knew the man would need help. He knew the man would need a companion. He knew the man would need a partner. That's where the wife comes into it. That's where a husband comes into it. So if you think you can live your life on this dolo thing, you're an island and you're surrounded by water and you're all on your own, I tell you, listen, life can get mighty lonely, you know, without a wife and without a husband. But it's what type of husband you sisters are looking for. You got a question?
Yeah, this is where personally I've been struggling with the Lord, you know, because it says in Corinthians, the first book of Corinthians chapter 7, don't know the verse, but it's talking about remaining single and having a wife. And if you have a wife, you do good. But if you remain single, you do better, you know. And I'm there probably, you know, debating with the king, and I'm saying, do you want me to do better or do you want to help me for me? And this is where I am at the moment, you know. So what advice could you give to someone who wants to do on the tip side of doing better rather than doing good, you know?
1 Corinthians 7.
Yeah, I believe it's 7.
Is it? I think I don't think you've read it quite accurately. It's not verse 39, is it? The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord. Is it? It's not verse 39, is it?
It's more simple than that, the one I'm looking for.
Okay, because we've got this precept. We'll come. You look for your precept, yeah, and we'll come back to it before the end of the class, right? You look for that precept where you need. Ecclesiastes, verse 10, Baba Kashar.
Was it 7 and 10, was it?
Khan, 4 and 10.
I dropped it. 2 seconds, yeah?
You want me to read it?
4 and 10.
Khan.
Bear with me. Ecclesiastes. I've got it. Bear with me, yeah? 4 and 10. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
And this is what happens in the marriage all the time. You support your one another. You support your one another. Your husband falls, you don't leave him. If he becomes if his business becomes bankrupt, guess who's there? Guess who's got his back to build him back up, to give him them sound words that he needs to hear, to have the confidence to go back out there and build himself up? That's a virtuous woman. That's you, sisters.
That's right.
So you be careful when you're looking for a husband, because if you're a virtuous woman, you want the same thing in return. You want and need a righteous man. Read on, Baba Kasha.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up.
And we just touched on this. Your car's broke down in the middle of the estate, and you could do with your wife now.
That's right.
You could do with your wife being there right now. Read on, Baba Kasha.
Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
Together, a man and a woman bring heat and comfort. A single woman all alone, who's going to keep you warm? Who's going to protect you? Who's going to stop them bandits kicking off your door at 4 a.m. and running in your house and raping you and robbing you and harming you? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do that at 4 a.m. if you haven't got a righteous brother in the side of your bed with you, keeping you warm? Read on, Baba Shah. Where are we? Are we at 12 yet? I don't know.
Robert's contacted to school today, and he asked a question. When you ready? Okay.
Come on. Let's finish up here in Ecclesiastes.
Right. Verse 12. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And the threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Okay, and this is a brotherhood precept, but it can be used for marriage, and I'll tell you why. Yeah? If you can apply this to your marriage, you know that a 3 cord, what's it say? Read that again, Baba Kasha.
So like verse 12. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And the threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Okay, a 3-fold cord is strong, much stronger than a single fold cord. You know when a sister plaits her brother's hair. Okay, there's 3 cords to the plait.
That's right.
And it stays in for a month. Imagine if that plait was just 2 cords or just 1 twist. It's never going to be as strong as a 3-fold cord. And that's what this is talking about. Sisters, you need a righteous man. You shouldn't be on your own. And when you're seeking a man, this is the man you should be looking for. The type of man you should be looking for is that 3-fold cord. A strong man who's going to hold things together. He's going to protect the home. Raise your children how they're supposed to be raised, knowing the laws, statutes, and commandments. This is the type of brother you should be seeking, sisters. Let's drop that. Get me Luke 11 and 21, Baba Kasha. You found it. Let's jump on it just before we go to Luke. But we'll hear his precept, but we're going to go to Luke 11 and 21, Baba Kasha. When you're ready.
First book of Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 38.
Just hold it. 7 and what?
38.
Yeah, this is where we've just read. 39. I read 39.
Yeah, what's the specific point?
7, what is it? 7 and 38.
That's my age as well.
Go ahead, brother.
So then, he that giveth her in marriage doth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doth better.
Read that again.
Corinthians chapter 7, verse 38. So then he that giveth her in marriage doth well, but he that giveth her not in marriage doth better.
Okay, I'm going to break this down for you, but I'm going to. Do you want this other one?
Yeah. What's it? Start from verse 1. So like give me Corinthians 7 and 1.
Let me read it. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Right, so there you go. So this is talking about a man and a woman. So Paul is a man that had no wife. And Paul had all the time in the world to focus on the truth, get brothers in the truth, get brothers off drugs. And obviously you got a woman, a wife, children. You got to do that. You got to take care of your wife, your children, the school run, doctor's appointments, and fix brothers in the truth. So Paul says it's better to be like me. It's better to be single and be free, have all the time, do the Lord's work full time. What we done?
Verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
But Paul said, I'd rather everyone be single and focus on the word of the Lord. But nevertheless, to avoid man from getting horny and sleeping with another man's wife, to avoid a man getting horny and watching pornography, go get yourself a wife, man. That's what Paul said. Paul said it's a good thing if a man could be like Christ, if a man could be like him, if a man could be single and focus on the word of the Lord, and it's got no distractions, got no school run, no parents even, can focus on the truth. But nevertheless, go get a wife, man. It's no harm. So you go back to the scripture the verse where you were at, brother.
38, verse 38. So then he that giveth her in marriage doth well.
And you got a wife, it's a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's good you got a wife, you want a woman. God made man and woman together. Man is made to be with a woman and procreate. It's a good thing, not a problem. Come on.
But he that giveth her not in marriage doth better.
But if you're a man and if you got the strength, not many men do. In the Bible, I saw two, just Christ and Paul. If you got the strength to be single and do the word full time, even better, man. No distractions.
And that's heavy. That's a real heavy point I want to order. And just to add to that, just remember this is a law class. And like we keep saying, we have these records for a reason. It's lawful to marry, but it's not the law. If you want to live like Christ without a wife, there's no law saying that's unlawful. Okay? Just to touch on what the captain's saying. But we encourage men to have a wife because it's not a bad thing, just like Paul's records. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to have a wife. But if you haven't got a wife and you're keeping these law, statutes, and commandments, you're going to do even better because you've got no outside distractions, you've got no children to raise, you've got no family to raise. You're going to find it easier to keep the law. If you've got children, you're responsible for other lives until they turn into men or women. And that's just to add. So there's no law in our records saying that you're in sin if you don't get married, or Christ would have married. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Are you okay with the answer?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so, where are we at?
Back in that as well, like John the Baptist was that type of man, the man in the wilderness, no distraction of the city life and this and that, no job. But Paul and Peter was fishermen, they had jobs. None of them are wrong. Just one man took his office way more serious and thought, I'm not going to have that distraction of the city life. I'm going to be out in the wilderness. It's up to that brother, man. You want to strive to that, it's on you.
And what about Elijah as well? He did have a wife.
I start documenting that now. So I wouldn't know. We back.
We're trying to get the sisters to understand what type of man they should be looking for. And let's have a look in Luke 11 and 21. This is the type of man you should be looking for, sisters. And this is the type of warrior man you're going to find in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Read that from the Bible, Kashadi.
The book of Luke 11, verse 21. When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. But when a stronger than he shall come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor, wherein he trusted, and divideth his spoils.
Okay, we'll break down 22, but let's go back to 21 first, Baba Kashar. Read that.
When a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace.
Okay, isn't this the type of man you sisters want? A peaceful home, a home with free of bandits thinking they can target you any time of the year. Okay, a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. No bandits can run up in your house if you've got a strong warrior from the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. What man is going to run up in Captain Karathia's yard?
That's right.
Guess what? He might run in, but he ain't getting out.
That's right.
Period. He's getting carried out horizontally. Period. And we're not advocates of violence. We're advocates of protection, protecting our families, our children, our sisters. That's what we're the advocates of. Because guess what? This is what the Bible teaches. A strong man protects his woman. A strong man protects his children. We don't go out on road like drug dealers and seek war and antagonize people. We're a righteous people, but we are warriors. And you think you're running up in our homes like bandits or in our school like demons, you might get in, but you will not get out.
That's right.
Not the same way you came in. Promise you that. Promise you that. All we've got in our school is warriors. Warriors of the Most High, mighty men of the Most High God. We don't breed anything else around here. We do not breed anything else around here. Verse 22, Baba Kashar.
God, but when a stronger than he come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor wherein he trusted and divideth his spoils.
So stay the hell away from your Christian pastor. Verse 22 is about the men you find in that Christian church. Verse 21 is about the type of man you're going to find at 394 Lodge Road in the ISUPK under Commanding General.
That's right.
That's what verse 21 is talking about. Verse 22 is the type of man you want to stay the hell away from, sisters. He is not going to be your protector. If bandits are running up in your pad, taking your jewelry, taking your electronical goods, and taking your money. Furthermore, taking you, carrying you to that cash machine, drawing out £500 at 5 to 12, taking you back at 12:05, drawing another £500 out and making off into the night with £1,000 out of your wife's account. Okay, that is not what a warrior does. That is not what a sound protector does. Okay, but that's the type of man you're going to find in a Christian church. The type of man that cannot protect his home. Okay, but you're not going to find that in the UPK. We all protect our sisters. We all protect our children. That's the type of man that you should be looking for, sisters. Point blank and period. Okay, let's get Acts 13 and 22, Baba Kashar. How long we got left? 10 minutes. Acts 13 and 22, Baba Kashar.
Acts 13, verse 22. Salakia. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. What?
Just 22. A virtuous woman should seek a man after God's own heart. And that was King David. King David was the perfect example of the type of man that our sisters should be seeking. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
22. And when he had removed him, he raised him up unto them David to be a king, to whom also he gave testimony.
So they've just removed the old king. I believe it was Saul. Who did King David replace? Saul. So they've removed King Saul here, and they've replaced him with King David to be their king, to whom also gave testimony. Read, Baba Kashar.
A man after mine own heart.
A man who, what?
After mine own heart.
A man after the Most High God's own heart. Would any of you sisters, any sister, reject a man that was just like the Most High God, or had the heart of the Most High God? Surely not. Surely not. Surely not. And King David was a man after the Most High's own heart. Do we all understand this? This is the type of man that you sisters should be seeking when you're looking for a husband. We'll come back to this. You got something, brother?
Yes, and a sister should be seeking a man thus, as you just said, a man after God's own heart. Then should we be seeking a sister that observes us or calls us Lord, like I said, called Abraham Lord?
Okay, I know where you're going, but not necessarily, because that can kind of be Christianized. What you're saying, when this precept here in verse 22, this is talking about King David, a man of the Most High God's own heart. Who gave us the law, statutes? And remember, this is a law class. Who gave us the law, statutes, and commandments? Yes, they was recorded by Moses. But who gave them to Moses? The Most High God. Okay, so if you've got the heart of the Most High God, why would that be? And you're keeping them. You're observing the law, and you're doing your damn best to keep them. This is what King David was doing. So he was a man after the Most High God's own heart. So the sisters, when you're looking for a sister, and we did this class 3 weeks ago, you should be doing the same thing. You should be looking for a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman is a woman that's observing and keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. And to keep them, you must observe them, because you've got to learn these laws before you can keep them.
That's right.
You follow me? Okay, and that's what this is talking about in verse 22. We've got a couple more precepts. Let's jump to what he had before. But jump to verse 39 in 1 Corinthians 7. 7 and 39, Baba Kashar.
God. 1 Corinthians 7:39. The wife is bound by the law.
The wife is what?
Bound by the law.
There you go. This is a woman you want. You want to look for, brother, a woman, because a woman's bound by the law. And all the sisters in the ISUPK observe, learn, and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And who do they learn the law from? Yeah, their husbands or the men in their school, wherever their school is. Indianapolis, Jamaica, Trinidad, Birmingham, UK, New York, 125th Street. Wherever your school is, you will be learning from the men within that school. And the first man you will learn from is your husband. Okay? 1 Corinthians 7 and 39, Baba Kashar, Adwan.
7:39. The wife is bound by the husband. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth.
Okay, so there you go. Exactly what we just said. If your husband is alive, you're bound by the law. This is going to stop the woman committing adultery. Read on.
But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord.
Okay, so if a sister's husband is dead, she is still bound by the law. That's what this is saying. If a sister's husband is dead, that don't mean she can stop keeping the law. She must keep keeping the law. Okay, but she's allowed to go and find a husband, because guess what? She hasn't broken the law. She hasn't put her husband away. She hasn't divorced him. She's allowed to marry again if her husband passes or dies. Do we all get this? Did you have something to add, Adawan?
Yeah, but basically saying, if a woman's husband dies, she ain't doing nothing wrong. She can marry someone else, but only in the truth. That's what I mean by only in the Lord.
Only in the truth.
You can't marry a drug dealer or someone out there or whatever the case may be.
Meaning, he must be an Israelite. When she remarries, don't think because your husband's died, you can trot off with a Hamite or an oppressor or an Elamite. You can't. You're still bound by the law. If you marry a second husband, the sister has to marry an Israelite. She is bound by the law. Okay, 2 Corinthians 6 and 14, Baba Kushar.
2 Corinthians, yeah?
Can't.
2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
Okay, and this is touching back again on what we read in Deuteronomy about these heathen nations. Okay, read that, Baba Kushar.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
And this is not just the heathen. This is the so-called black, Hispanic, and native Indian men stuck up in that Christian church. Are they believers? Are they keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, sisters? No, they are not. Certainly not. You should not be seeking one of these men, because guess what? They're not like you. If you are in the ISUPK and you're under Commanding General Yohana and you're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and you're a virtuous woman, I guarantee you will not be with one of these non-believers. But you sisters out there in the world, especially you Christian sisters, this is exactly what you're guilty of, and this is exactly what you're doing. Read that again, Baba Kushar.
God. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Okay, so that's verse 14. This scripture is proof that you should not seek a man that is not in the truth. And also not just an Israelite that is not in the truth. Yeah, neither should you seek a husband from one of these heathen nations. Period. And that's what you've got to bear in mind, sisters, you so-called black, Hispanic, and native Indian sisters. Okay, there's only one way you're going to get the man that you really need, and get you on the right path, the righteous path. If you've got any aspirations of pleasing the Most High God, and that is in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Proverbs 24 and 16, Baba Kushar. I'm going to have to check this.
But, 24:16.
Give me 1 minute. Salakia, bear with me, everyone. Salakia.
No, it don't sound like still.
With 24 and 16. Okay.
Just going 4 and 6. I don't sound like
Yeah, no, laha. Okay, but what did we just go into? 2 Corinthians. Okay. So, okay, yeah, no, let's just recap. Salakia, that forget that precept. Just to recap. So, sisters, finding a husband in Israel, okay? What type of man you should be seeking, what type of man you should be looking for. You should be looking for a strong protector that can protect the house, that can nurture alongside you and raise the children, a sincere man, a humble man, a man that holds no grudge against you, yeah, a warrior, a man that believes in the Most High God and keeps the laws, statutes, and commandments. These are the fundamentals. If this is not the man that you are courting or seeking, then you're wrong. And if you're courting a man that doesn't carry these commodities, get the hell away from him. Get the hell away from him. And like we just said, yeah, if you're serious about the Most High God and you're serious about these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, you will find a righteous man in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. That's the only place you're going to find a man of these qualities. Okay, and with that, I'm going to call the class. Clap it up. Gonna hand the class over to Captain Karathia.
So you also let everyone know about the class on Saturday in Mason Road, please. I'll put the flyer up as well.
Mason Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
After Dungle Bar this week.
Okay, so Saturdays, 5 till 7 p.m. All roads lead to Leicester, Maidstone Road, Caribbean Centre. We got the postcode, other one.
LE20UA.
LE20UA. That's Leicester, Caribbean Centre, LE20UA, Maidstone Road, Caribbean Centre. This Saturday is the flyers up on the screen, so you can see it. Photo snap it, photo shoot it, so you've got the postcode. All roads lead to Leicester, Maidstone Road, Saturday, 5 till 7 p.m. That's 1,700 hours to 1,900 hours this Saturday. Okay, it's a scripture breakdown class. Come with your questions. There's food available.
Right.
Okay, the sisters, the brothers will be there in full force, representing the ISUPK under Commanding General Johanna, and we will be teaching the Bible. We will be there to answer all your questions, hosted by Officer Dungabar. Okay, so all roads lead to Maidstone Road, Leicester, this Saturday.
Also 10 o'clock the same day, having breakfast in the school as well.
Okay, 10 a.m. the same day, we've got a breakfast buffet in the school at 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham. Okay, make yourself available. You so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not just the sisters and the brothers of the school. In the school, all our people are welcome.
That's right.
Okay, this is how we get down. This is what we do. Okay, and with that, shalom.
I'll call it. All right, من الفيديو يا مريم. Good. Sweet. I'll get sweet. Sweet out. Don't sweet. All right, Madam Shabbat. All right, Madam. Barak. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.
Yanjamatah. Dismissed.